Hey, you guys, what's going on? 845 Sportscards coming back at you from New York's Hudson Valley once again. And today we've got a sort of PSA reveal and some thoughts and ideas and opinions about the PSA grading process. We got a six-card order I submitted, and here's my little breakdown. So I submitted it. The order arrived at PSA March 13th. Order prep, research ID, grading, yada, yada, yada. They called it complete on April 14th. So March 13th, April 14th, that is fantastic. That's a month. If you simply look right here, things have changed. There is a lag time. They've increased turnaround time from 45 days on their value service to 65 days because of the backlog with Pokemon and sports cards in general. So I mean, it's what it is. Your results may vary. For me, I submitted an order through Bleecker Cards. They were doing an event there downtown Manhattan. PSA was on site picking up orders, so I saved the shipping, saved myself $30, $40, handed the cards directly to PSA. They processed them. They got there March 13th to the California site. Did what they did. April 14th, my grades delivered, and I'm going to show you my results here. So first card up here, 2024 Topps Star Wars Hyperspace. I want you to know that every single card I'm showing here, all 6 cards, were pack pulled by me, handled by me. Nobody else touched them up until PSA got them. I inspected every single card with a 10x loop with a bright light, which is what I would expect them to do under their conditions. I looked at the edges, the corners, the surface, and the centering. Card like this with no clearly defined borders is tough to establish centering, but yeah, I do my best where I can. But clean surfaces, sharp corners, clean edges. There's only so much I can do, and I only sent cards to PSA that I felt had a shot at a PSA 10. That's what I was aiming for. Something that I felt could get a 10. I'm not going to waste my time and my money shooting for a 6 out of a pack-pulled fresh card. And I was hoping that any card that did achieve a 10 would be worth in the $100 to $500 range. That was the goal. And a PSA 9 I was hoping for at least cover the cost of grading, $25. So this first card here, this 2024 Topps Hyperspace Darth Sidious Planetary Variation, numbered to 99. It's a case hit. I pulled it out of a box myself. Through the Montgomery Club, I got this box. And it was the last pack that was buried in the box. Pulled it out, very excited, numbered to 99. It's a variation on the base, called the Planetary Variations. You can see up here the numbering beat, base, Planetary Variation 100. Beautiful card. Looked real nice. At the time I sent it in, none had been graded by PSA. There was very few up on eBay, so I thought it was a good idea to send it in because it was clean, it was rare, 99, should be in demand. And being that it's pack pulled and I inspected it, I expected a good grade, and we'll reveal the grade right now. Mint 9. So I don't know what more I could have done. Could I have cleaned it? Could I have prepared it? Could I have greased the PSA guys? I don't think I could have done anything more. I certainly don't think greasing PSA guys is an option, being that nobody gets preferential treatment over there. But one of my thoughts here is that mint, the definition of mint means perfect, great, phenomenal. Couldn't be better. Of course, a 10 is better. Gem Mint's a little better, but I don't know how you could be mad at something that's graded mint, honestly. I would have liked the 10, but we got the 9. So, moving right along, Bruce Buffer. The 2024 UFC Royalty through Topps is a very hot set. Autographs of Bruce Buffer are going for $500-$600. They're huge money. This was out of Donruss in 2022. It's a sticker auto as opposed to an on-card auto, but it's still an autograph of Bruce Buffer. I thought this card was sweet. Again, it looked sharp, had an auto on it, big name, and prove it in the UFC Royalty that he does sell. He's very popular. So I figured, I might even PC this card if it came in a high grade. But with the market of Bruce Buffer now for UFC Royalty, I figured this might even be a good time to sell. But let's see what we got of our pack pulled, closely examined card. PSA 8. So we got an 8. Is it a case of population control? Maybe. I'm not sure. It was a purple variation, non-numbered, but it's an autograph. Pack pulled. It was actually out of a blaster. It got an 8. I still think it's worth $100, so totally worth it to send in the grading. Same thing for this card. I think this card should get 80 to 100. That card should get at least 100. I would think with the popularity, so it was worth sending out to PSA, even though it didn't get what I would expected. Next card up, 1 out of 5. You see that there on the card. Sticker auto, but 1 out of 5. The Once Upon a Time in Queens special set that they distributed, Topps distributed, based on the series, ESPN series. Randy Neiman was a pitcher, not a big name. Would have much preferred the Mike Tyson or the Lenny Dykstra, Doc Good, and Darryl Strawberry. But this is what we pulled out of a pack. It was a 1 out of 5, limited to 5 orange autograph. For a niche Mets collector, 86 Mets collector, autograph collector. This is a sweet card and low numbered. I figured why not send it in, get it authenticated, get it, slabbed up, and we'll see what we got here. Mint 9. Okay, so pack pulled. It's a 9. It's mint. Hopefully this goes for good money. Definitely going to sell it. I have no reason to PC this because I don't even remember this guy. I was 5 years old during the 86 series. But, somebody would want that, I'm sure. It's out of 5. It's an orange parallel. So we will see what happens there. But 9, cards in a mint condition. Hard to argue. Would have liked a 10, but hard to argue with a 9. Let's hold the Jordan for a second. Chipper Jones, 1991 rookie out of Upper Deck. Examined edges, corners, surfaces, centering. This card looked perfect. What did PSA think? 7. A 7. How did they get a 7? I really don't know. I looked at this card. It sure looks sharp to me. Is the centering off? Maybe the centering's off? I really don't know. I'm not sure. I'm flabbergasted. I'm confused. You got a 7. So, if you look it down here, population is 7,689. Population higher, 12,000 higher. Their estimated price $6. So almost certainly got beat on this one. Yeah, but 7, I don't know where that came from. 1991's an older product. What is that? You're looking at 34 years old now. Maybe they look harsher on junk wax. Maybe they look harsher on older sets as opposed to newer sets. How could you justify? I pulled the pack a month ago. Of course it's a 9. It should be a 9. This card's been bounced around for 35 years. I don't know. Next card up, Todd Van Poppel. Why would I grade this card? Because 2 reasons. Nostalgia and rarity. I'll show you the population count in a second. Todd Van Poppel, I looked at it. He was a prospect, a big prospect, big name. Didn't pan out. But if there was ever hype back in 91, this man was the face of the hype. And PSA thought, mint 9. Okay, so I'll take a 9. And we look down at the population count. There's only 20 of these in a mint 9. Population 20 in a 9, and there's only 6 in a 10. So if this popped as a 10, it would be 1 out of 7. On eBay, I've seen these sell for over $100 in a 10 because they're so exceptionally rare. And that's a factor. Most people don't send these cards in. Why would you? He's not a Hall of Famer. He's never even had a good season in the pros. But low population, supply and demand would say that low population, a little bit of demand, you'll get it. Low supply, low demand, but because of low supply, you find that one buyer, he'll take it. So, top 20, 6 higher, still pretty good. Why is this one a 9 and the chipper was a 7? I wish I could tell you. Is the centering that much different? Doesn't look very different, to be honest with you. I don't know. Hard to say. And the last one, we want a head scratcher. I've sent this card in a few times already with varied results. I've got the highest I've gotten was a 9. And we'll see what this one gets. Again, I only send it in if the corners are sharp, the edges are clean, the surface is clean, and it appears to be centered. That's the only reason I would send it in. Because in a 9, it's worth about $50. In a 10, it's worth like $450. And I would PC this card if I had it in a 10. I currently have the 9 in my PC. I'd like to switch it out for a 10. If I could do it without paying the $450, I'd be happy to do that. But maybe this time, or maybe not. How is it possible that I pulled a card out of a pack myself, a foil pack in a sealed box, examined it with a loop, sent it in with 2 other cards from the same box that I examined myself? One got a 9, one got a 7, and this Jordan got a 4. I could argue that it's about population control. They think that, obviously people would like to have this card, and I can't argue with them. And they don't want too many 10s out there. But what makes the Van Poppel a 9 and Jordan a 4? What could exist in this 4? Let's look. Corners, edge, corner. You see something, you let me know. Corner. It's all factory issued. Surface. So it look like out of the pack. I mean, the back, I'm lost. So, in the back of the card, let's take a look at the back of the card real quick. Maybe there's something in the back I missed. Holograms there. Obviously doing this quick, but I lost it. 29,000 population, higher than a 4, obviously most of them are. Is it population control? So when you think about all the cards I sent out, I sent 6 pack pulled cards. One of them was from 2024, one was from 2021, 3 of them were from 91. And if I take away, let's go back here. If I could find this, let's bring this up here. Bring up the whole order. So 2024, a 9. 2022, an 8. 2021, a 9. 91, 4, 7, 9. If we take away the Jordan, take away the 4, ignore that. 9, 8, 9, 7, 9. I think if I got that return, I think I'd be more okay, because I wouldn't be scratching my head as to what happened with this pack pull card that appears to be perfect under high magnification. So I come away with 2 different philosophies, 2 different thoughts about PSA in its current state right now. The first, optimistic, give it the benefit of the doubt thought, is that a card in perfect condition is a 9, unless it knocks the socks off the grader and changes them to a 10. And 10s are rare, they're exceptionally rare, that's why they're valuable. 9 is the best you can expect under normal conditions, and a pack full of cards is going to have some variation out of the pack from the manufacturer, so you can't expect too many 10s. So 8s and 9s is where you're going to live. And sometimes there's something I'm not seeing. Maybe I'm not seeing something on this Michael Jordan card. Maybe it had a dimple I didn't notice, or a crease, or a hairline wrinkle. I don't know. I can't imagine what brings a pack fresh card to a 4. I have vintage cards that are 4s, and they're missing chunks. They're rounded corners, and they look in horrible condition. But I don't know how you say that's a 4. I honestly don't get it. I've been grading cards since the 1990s. I just don't see that. I can think that they're honest, they're fair, they see some stuff we don't see, and you get what you get, and you don't get upset like they teach my son in pre-K. But the other side of me is the graders are controlling populations, the graders are capricious and pulling things out of thin air and grading cards with a variation that's unexplainable, and I could probably crack the 4, send it back in and get an 8. I could probably crack the 9 Van Poppel, send it back in and get a 6. I probably could. It's not worth my money. I don't need to spend money and waste time conducting an experiment like that, because I know it's true. I know I could send the 4 back and it'll come back a 7 or an 8. I know that. Whatever made the grader call it a 4, I can't imagine. We don't get graders notes at this level. You're going to pay big money for the higher tiers to get graders notes. I can't imagine. I wish there was like an appeal process. I'll pay $10 to get an appeal process. You know, get back to the grader that saw this and give me an idea. I'll pay a little extra money just to know, just to learn. And honestly, my belief going forward is that PSA is kind of a mix of the two. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed with the way they do grading. They grade cards as fair as they can, as accurately as they can, and the human error is in place. I'm not sure what level AI is playing in grading, but human error exists. People have good days and bad days. These guys are grading millions of cards a year, so you're going to get good days, bad days, oversights. You're going to get 9s. Cards that should be 9s get 10s. Cards that should be 10s get 9s. You're going to see it. And I can't explain the 4. I honestly cannot. But I'm going to keep spinning cards to PSA because 9s will still sell, and everybody's playing with a level playing field here. I don't think anybody has an advantage in grading. I don't think anybody has an inside track. Nat Turner himself has stated that when he sends his cards to PSA to be graded, they're anonymous. The grader does not know they're Nat Turner's cards. So I'm inspired by that to know that it is random to a degree. It is anonymous. It is up to the opinion of the grader to determine the value of the card. And I'm not sending any cards that are going to cost. I'm not spending $1,000 to grade cards. I'm spending $25. It's more the principle of the matter that I see a card that I think is perfect. It should be pretty close to perfect. And honestly, PSA 9 is perfect. So I'm going to continue to grade with PSA. As a matter of fact, I do have 2 other orders out with them. And I'm confident that the grades will come back. And I've gotten 10s in the past. I'm confident I'll get 10s in the future. All things being equal, every card I've sent out has been pack pulled by me. I examined every one, so I'd expect similar results to what I got to this order. A mix of 8, 9s, and hopefully a couple 10s. Hopefully the 10s hit on the bigger cards. Hopefully I could pay for the order with the 10s, and the 8s and 9s break even. And I could ultimately make money from grading, because it's hard to conduct business when you have raw cards that have value, and the 9s sell for less than the raw value. And then you have to wait for the grades to come back. 65 business days is an incredibly long time. I think, in a lot of respects, you rip a pack, almost every circumstance, you're better off just selling it raw immediately rather than grading it. But I still am going to grade cards in certain circumstances when I feel like the value proposition is there, when there's a huge upside of multiple for a 9 or a 10. I'm going to keep doing it judiciously. Not every card. Certain cards, certain players, certain parallels, certain sets, certain timing. And we'll continue to go from here, because we love the hobby. We love cards. We love the chase. We love the action. We love the thrill. And that's what it's all about here in the Hudson Valley. 845 Sports Cards. And hopefully you guys get good returns. May you get many 10s and 9s. May you get the grades you want. And if you want any of these cards, take a look on eBay. They will be up there starting Saturday night, going through next Saturday night. And if you want any of them, you can have them. Just a bit early, bit often, bit aggressive, and you too could have one of these cards professionally graded and slabbed by the only game in town. And there is value in that. My PC is mostly PSA cards, so I totally get it. So thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know your experiences with PSA in the past and recently, and your thoughts going forward in the future. And I'll catch you guys next time. Later.